Every day is upside down day in Soundschi land. Hi and welcome to the Soundschi land show where everybody's upside down, and we've been upside down for a year now. Today is our first anniversary. I'm gonna do a recap of everything that happened over the last year, and it's amazing how far we've come. Yeah, where do I start? So, the beginning of Handstand Diary was actually directly connected to our trip. Eva wanted to travel, and I was okay with that. I was totally in, but I knew with the obsession I had about handstands, I somehow had to connect the trip with getting better at handstands and learning more and growing in this section of my life. The original thought was to make a channel with tutorials, like everybody does tutorials. So I think the first video I did was actually me trying to do a tutorial, and I felt so stupid because first of all, my level was so basic. I had just started handstands 6 or 7 months before we went on the trip. My handstand was shaky, it was very inconsistent and not good at all. It just felt so wrong. Even though I was already teaching some people at the time, because before we left I was working as a personal trainer and people were approaching me, so I was already starting to give classes, but it was also before I even knew what people can actually do on their hands. Because it felt so weird and wrong, I came up with the idea of interviewing people who actually can tell you something valuable about handstands. And it was a win-win for everybody. I thought I can help them improve their handstand businesses and just help the industry grow as a whole. And the reason why I started actually doing tutorials in between was I wanted to keep this rhythm of every Monday, which has been really hard, but that was very important to me, just to keep it going. And so I started doing tutorials and just sharing the little bits of what I knew and learned in my personal videos. When we first started, I remember I was so scared to be in front of the camera. I knew I somehow wanted it, I felt drawn to it, but the very first interview I did was so shaky and it was so weird, and I still feel weird in front of the camera sometimes, but I've just become way more comfortable compared to the beginning. People have been asking me if I think it's a good idea for them to go travel and meet with hand balancers and build a handstand business. I don't know if it's a good idea. I mean, the way I did it is I just had this year where we were planning to travel. We set the budget aside before, so we did a lot of work before to be secure during this time. I pretty much just followed my interest and I took it step by step. I did what I could do at the moment and I focused on that. And I pretty much let myself be carried away by whatever happened afterwards. The only advice I can give in this regard is, imagine you would die in 3 years. Is this what you would do with your time that you have? This is pretty much the way I saw my life when we started doing this massive change. And it's just been the best thing ever. As far as my handstand progress during the last year goes, there are two sides to this matter. On the one side, I'm super happy about my progress because when we left, I didn't have a press. I was not at all consistent with my handstands. I didn't have a pike, like a 7 handstand. My back bends were non-existent. I was way less solid than I am now, and I feel very solid on 2 arms now. But I did want to just get a one-arm handstand, and I was kind of hoping for it to happen faster, and I'm still in the process of learning it, and I'm still doing my fingertip hold. And the first fingertip holds I did were in September when we met Josh and Morgan. So it's been 10 months. I thought it would go faster. I see myself as a very dedicated person, but things take time, and some people take longer, some people take less long. The things I've learned in regards to handstands is incredible. Meeting all these people and seeing the different perspectives and the different ways how people approach handstands and train and teach, this has given me such a wide spectrum of knowledge. What's really interesting is that everybody has his own way of doing handstands. And I think that's something that everybody has to figure out for themselves. I wouldn't say like this is the major key to handstand success, but it's definitely something I believe in, is that in the end it all comes down to you being able to manage your body while being upside down. It all comes down to you knowing yourself. Like, your body's gonna feel very different from somebody else's body. You have a different work capacity, you have different talents and different abilities. Being good at handstands and having a good practice, in my opinion, after seeing all the different ways of the people I've met, is just finding your own way. When you go to a new place and you meet people who are at a higher level than you, it just gives you so much energy and it kind of puts you in a different place. And when you go back to your own routine and to training by yourself, you can still feed from that. Yeah, so to sum up the recap, I wasn't quite sure where Handstand Diary was gonna go at the beginning, and I'm still not sure where it's gonna go now. I really, really want to thank you for all the support you've given me in the last year, and you're the reason why Handstand Diary was able to grow the way it did, and it grew a lot in just 1 year. I really do hope that my channel is a source of inspiration and motivation for your training. And I've also thought about the line I always said at the end, which was, the world is your playground, so just go ahead and do whatever you love. With so many issues going on in the world, I don't feel right saying it's a playground anymore. And I do feel that we need to live our lives consciously and be respectful. What it really comes down to for me is doing what you love. I always had this feeling that I'm too old to go on stage or like to have a stage career, because that was my dream as a girl. I think the best way to say what I want to say with everything I do is, it's never too late to do what you love. It's never too late to do what you love. And so I hope my videos inspire you to don't give a shit about what anybody says or what your mind may tell you. Just go ahead and do what you love. Thank you so much for watching. Next week we have another interview of one of the students in Kiev coming up. And I'm gonna go have a party right now with my crew for the first anniversary. So see you next Monday on the Soundschi Show.